Alright, I believe we're live then. Hmm. Just a recap of what happened last time, now that I think about it, we should probably talk about that. If I'm not mistaken, we've made it into the Mel Tokyo sewers, but I am blind and could not find the way out. It turns out, if I'm not mistaken again, that there is indeed a very easily visible path. Just, I'm bad at vision. And while I do love this game, I also apparently don't remember it very well, which is somewhat embarrassing. It's gonna be great. Anyways, aside from that, Colette has finally regained her ability to exist in a somewhat, capacity capable of doing things. Um, let's see, what else? So we've made it to Tethe'ala, we've met the Chosen and all the people there. We have picked up a lost child and are refusing to take her home, which is why this episode is titled Home or Coming Home, because we are finally going to be bringing her back to her hometown. Frankly, took us long enough, but it's an RPG, so what do you expect? Um, yeah. I believe once we do end up bringing her home, we're also going to be trying to visit Sheena's hometown, but I could also be wrong about that. Really, quite a few people are probably going home today, because Zelos is going back to Mel Tokyo. There's a Presea going back to Ozette, and I do believe Sheena's going back to Mizuho. So yeah, overall, coming home just might be an apt title for this. Though, of course, given my track record, we'll complete that in the first hour, and then I'll have nothing to really sort of outline about that. In the meantime, I've had a. I completely forgot to upload Saturday's YouTube to the. Saturday's YouTube? What? Saturday's Twitch stream to the archive channel. So do not worry. As we speak, the Moody Balloons 6 is, it's processing, and it will be going up soon enough. Also, I wasn't sure because I wanted to name this episode "Coming Home" for various reasons. Um, oh, that sounded terrible. Please excuse that. That was unusual to say the least, or at least I would like to hope it would be. Anyways, there are several reasons I wanted to title this stream "Coming Home." One, of course, being well, actually, no, pretty much all of it being that we're taking several party members back to their, well, actual homes. But then that begged the question of whether I should call it Coming Home or Homecoming. Because I was just kind of like, I was thinking what to call this, and I'm like, if I call it Homecoming, it sounds like the Spider-Man movie, but if I call it Coming Home, uh, then I'm just gonna have the Guilty Gear song Coming Home stuck in my head all day. And then I remembered Guilty Gear music is great. So we just went with that. Not to say Homecoming is a bad movie, but I am not very invested in the Marvel Universe. And frankly, the only movie I've seen in the MCU that I actually remember all the way through is what was the most recent Spider-Man movie was No Way Home, right? Yeah, that's pretty much the only MCU movie I have seen all the way through and actually remember. There anybody in the chat by any chance? On a completely unrelated note, but still technically related to something I was talking about earlier, after the balloon streams from Saturday, I've just been kind of going through all the dailies and weeklies in balloons, and I'm like, man, I never realized just how much content there is in this game. Like, I knew there was a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's still surprising. I also went ahead and purchased the what was this called again? I've also went ahead and purchased SRPG Studio. It was a great it was quite the great acquisition, all things considered. It was on sale for like 30 bucks for it and all of its assets. And while I do recognize SRPG Studio is not a viable way to release a game, if Shozo Kaga himself did it, then I think I could do it just fine. That being said, this will be a work in progress for a very long time. Anyways, with all that out of the way, I'd say now's about time for us to go ahead and open up Symphonia. And along with that, switch to the live scene. Alright, let's see, is it capturing? Doesn't look like it. Alright, we're capturing. With that, it should hopefully finally be time to get out of these sewers. I have left my party in here for far too long. And indeed, it has been far too long. Because the path that I was looking for is, to be honest,
are you guys part of a gang
kind of embarrassing.
Ready for this? Fireball!
Wait, how many pieces do I have left on Fireball? 4 more. Convenient.
Ready for this?
Hammer!
Fireball! I,
Yeah!
ha, 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 ha,
Sorry.
ha, ha,
Mirage! Light! Fire!
Ready for this?
Rain!
Fireball! Ha, ha,
Well, I got poisoned, but I didn't flinch during it at least.
Mirage seal!
ha, 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 ha.
No! Infliction!
I, ha, 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 ha,
Rain thrust!
ha, ha,
I have no earthly idea why these battles are so troublesome for me.
Punishment!
I think it's mainly just the status effect, but like, it still kind of sucks.
Oh man, this sucks.
Indeed it does, Zelos. Being poisoned is typically not considered a very pleasant experience. So once more, we are going to have Rain take care of our injuries. We're also just gonna go ahead and have a full team heal.
How many of you are there?
Okay, I'm done
Let's
with
get
this
out.
place. We're just getting out of here.
Live to fight another day, right?
But yes, the path through was indeed very obvious, and I am just blind. Not that this wasn't very well known, but there is literally a pathway right there that you just need to be small to walk over, and I, for some reason, didn't recognize that. Ah, we've been jumped.
What's going on?
I sense danger.
Danger, you say?
We've been waiting for you, travelers from Silverhunt. The Pope promised to lighten our sentences if we got rid of you. We've got nothing personal against you, but we need you to die.
Fair enough.
You want to tussle? Huh?
I would love to give these people a chance at freedom, but unfortunately they're trying to kill us, and I cannot allow that.
Fire seal!
As they say, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and we're still trying to figure out how to save the world. Well, the world's plural.
Eruption!
Alright, Zelos has finally learned Eruption, so I can stop casting Fireball. Time to start casting Windblade instead.
Rain thrust! Infliction!
Ready for this? Wind blade!
Upon closer examination, I should probably be healing
Ready for
people.
this? First aid!
Yeah, that would have been a great conclusion to come to earlier, all things considered.
Ready for this? First aid!
Infliction! No!
First aid!
Fire seal! Rain thrust! Devastation! Beast! That's that.
Good job, everyone. My apologies, but you're gonna have to go back to oh, hello.
Ah!
It was so graphic they couldn't show it on screen.
Don't move. If you move, the Chosen dies. Understand?
Fair enough.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You think you can get away with doing something like this to the Chosen?
One who plots the destruction of the world can no longer be deemed the Chosen.
While he's got a point, there's a misunderstanding here.
Oh. Hey, Lloyd. If you abandon me here, I swear I'll come back to haunt you.
I'd be fine with that.
I just had a sudden violent urge to abandon you.
Whew.
My hero.
You're... Retreat for now.
Damn, these guys are too strong.
Turns out that man appears to have business
Looks
with
like
this
it's over
lost
for
child.
now.
Thank goodness everyone's okay.
There's definitely nothing strange or wrong about this implication. In the meantime, Yeah, I do believe I grabbed Genus's most recent weapon as well. Ah! I completely forgot about
You're in
this.
for a world.
This is not a great party to
Here you
fight this
go.
thing with, it turns out.
Infected.
Ready for this? Wind blade.
Come on.
Ready for this? Wind blade.
No way. Destruction.
Nah, I should just...
Ready for this?
I need to correct my text. We're just gonna set Eruption here.
Fireball.
How much health does this thing have?
Ready for this?
That's a lot.
First aid.
Thanks. No. No.
Ready for
No
this?
way.
This is not
First
going well.
aid.
Well, I should probably
Burn,
focus on
baby!
myself, all things
Eruption!
considered.
Sorry.
I need to get some TP back.
Ready for this? First aid.
Thanks. O Holy One, cast thy purifying light upon this
I need to...
souls. Thank
Love
you.
you now, huh?
There's that. And I think another great idea would probably be,
Here you go.
You're gonna be kidding me.
Peak Zelos saying, "Here you go," to himself.
No way.
Ready for this? First aid.
I need
Ready
a
for
safer
this?
spot to
This
heal my
takes
team from.
concentration.
So we're just gonna go ahead
Ready
and
for
cross
this?
up.
First aid.
Thank you.
Ready for this? First aid.
Thanks.
This was definitely not a mistake,
Ready
and
for
I was
this?
definitely not unprepared for
aid.
this.
Thanks. Destruction.
If we keep casting Eruption, it will go
baby,
down eventually.
eruption. Burn, baby! Eruption!
Thank you, Colette.
Sorry.
You made a great meat shield. I'm just gonna pineapple gel
Here you go.
myself at this rate.
Burn, baby! Eruption!
Sorry.
Thank you for being a wonderful meat shield once more, Colette.
Ready for this? First aid.
Thank you.
Ready
I
for
beg
this?
of thee to reveal thy
First
glory.
aid.
Thanks. Angel feathers.
Thank you, Colette, for finally casting magic. Colette, why?
Burn, baby!
Ah, she's out of TP, that's why. That would do it.
Ready for this? First aid.
Thanks. So annoying.
Ready for this? This takes concentration.
Presea is definitely not in danger.
The red giant, the ruler
Ready for
of
this?
I summon thee.
Hello, Afreet.
Great.
I will reduce you to zero.
Interesting.
Ready for
My
this?
heal was
First
stopped.
aid.
Destruction.
Alright, we should only need like 2 more eruptions
Burn,
and then we'll
baby!
be good.
Eruption! Oh yeah!
Wait, sorry. You're gonna be
Burn!
kidding.
Just gonna have Colette life bottle Presea so she gets experience for participating in
How do you
this.
do that?
Sheena, however, did
I
not.
rule. I'm so
That is
cool.
unfortunate. An elixir was found. This pretty much does what it says. 100% of HP, 100% of TP. Pretty good overall. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and use our last life bottle, even though in theory this shouldn't matter anymore. Ah, thank God, we're finally out of the sewers. Took me long enough. We finally made it into the city. Yeah, now we can meet my friends. Where are your friends? At a place called the Elemental Research Laboratory. I learned my summoning arts there. It's also where Corinne was born. Okay, let's go to that Elemental Research Laboratory place then. Not a bad idea, but before that, we're gonna do some shopping. And before I forget, passive. How are you, madam? Alright. Let's, stock up on these, stock up on these. Orange gels I could use some more of. I definitely need some more life bottles now. I've learned my lesson. Alright, sounds good to me. Actually, let's pick up 2 more magic lenses just to be safe. And I'm gonna go ahead and sell some of these dark bottles, I think, because I don't particularly use them anyway. I also don't tend to use, these. Wait, no, where did I not have a... Ah, never mind, I guess I'm blind. I, for some reason, was under the impression I had a Pamacasta potion. I was wrong about that. Anyways, what we're gonna do right now is we have some herbs, none of which I'd actually like to use upon closer examination. At least not yet. Basically, herbs will permanently increase someone's stats, but I'd like to get a bit further in the game before I really decide who to allocate those to, as well as get ones for things other than evasion and accuracy, because those stats kinda don't really matter. Like, they do have pretty good function, just not to the extent I would like. Alright. Let's see. I'm gonna pick up a silver sword for Zelos, because I am kinda tired of not having, I'm kinda tired of not having great, range on Zelos' normal attacks. Also, it's just flat out way higher damage. Zelos should now actually be capable of doing more than double digits on a melee strike. Hopefully. We're still gonna hold on to his knives, though. Pick up some armor. Let's see. Alright, so... who got better armor there? I believe... it would have been... that, the Elven Protector, a Misty Robe, and another Misty Robe. If I'm not mistaken, that's pretty much all the inventory management I got done there. I hope it is, at least. Or no, I got the claw gauntlets too. So these are gonna be a pretty considerable boost to both Presea and Lloyd's stats. Alright, that's looking better. Anyways, with our shopping out of the way, and I'm officially basically out of gold. The last thing we're gonna do... passive. Acquired pineapple. Just a straight up actual pineapple. We're gonna stay at an inn. Alright, now our party's back up to full once more. Thank God, especially after going through the sewers. And we're gonna visit the laboratory. Sheena, it's you. Kuchinawa, why are you here? I'm on a top secret mission. What about you? I'm in a bit of trouble, actually. My friends and I need to get across the bridge. Friends? They're not from Mizuho. They're from Silverant. Lloyd and everyone, this is a friend from Mizuho. His name's Kuchinawa. Sheena and I grew up together. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. I'll go talk to the people in the laboratory. Alright, let's see what they've got in store for us. Let's go along and listen too. That's insane! What's wrong? Listen to this. They want us to cross the sea in an elemental cargo. An element what? Elemental cargo, typically called EC. It's a compact transport vehicle controlled by X-spheres. Its maximum load weight is 1,400 kilograms, and maximum speed is more than 3 times faster than an upgraded X-sphere-equipped carriage. They are currently used primarily by shipping companies for delivery services. Hey, what are we, packages? The elemental cargo absorbs mana from the atmosphere and ejects it into the air, producing a counter-reaction that propels it forward. So if we use Undine for that, we can get an EC that can surf. Surf? Isn't there any other way? The bridge is closed. You don't have the necessary identification to use an ocean liner. And on top of that, there are 2 half-elves with you. Not that again. That's the kind of world Tetheala is. We too hardly ever get to leave this building. I wonder why everyone can't get along. Oh well, there's no point in getting all gloomy. So, will you make that modified EC for us? If you wait a day, we'll have it ready. Okay, well then, let's go rest at my mansion. So upon closer examination, I in fact did not need to use the inn. Unfortunate. The Pope's minions aren't going to be waiting for us there, right? We're going to have to spend the night in the city. So it doesn't matter where we are, it'll still be dangerous. Yeah, I guess you're right. My mansion's in the Noble's Quarter to the right of Castle Tetheala. It's a conspicuously big building, so you can't miss it.
Alright. Well, now that we know where Zelos lives, it is time to go there. On this side, you've made summon spirits into research subjects as well, right? Yes, in order to use mana as energy, it's most efficient to study the summon spirits themselves. Fascinating. In what way are these entities known as summon spirits created, and what effect do they have on the world? I oppose summon spirit research. Oh? Why? I just do. Corinne suffered painful experiences during the experimental stage. Oh, that's right. Corinne is a man-made summon spirit. Fascinating. Uh-oh. Run for it. Come back here this instant. And thus Rain has once more ruined someone's life with research. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. We're just gonna go ahead and use Zelos' passive a bit. There we go. Energy tablets. Now that is an item. 30% of HP to all party members.
Welcome home, Chosen One. Yo, I'm back. Anything happen while I was gone? I was instructed by the Pope and an emissary of His Majesty Tetheala the 18th to report as soon as the Chosen returned. You can just ignore that. Yes, sir. Ah, and who is the guest with the 2 swords? My bud. Just make yourselves at home. If there is anything you need, Sir Bud, please speak to me. My name's not Bud. He said that this fireplace ignites by 1 touch. What's 1 touch? Mylene Wilder. It seems this is a portrait of Zelos' mother. It smells nice. What? Is it weird for me to be looking at flowers? Not particularly. These presents are tributes from my honeys. Oh, it's so hard being popular. There it is. I am the mysterious gourmet, the Wonder Chef. I shall teach you the recipe for that essential party food, the fruit cocktail. Learned how to make fruit cocktail. Fruit cocktail requires any 2 fruits you like. Farewell. Off he goes. Presea, You're pretty. Pretty? What is that? I'm complimenting you. I see. Then you are pretty too. These two got along very well, obviously. Will you be retiring to bed now? Might as well. And once more, I had no need to use the inn. Okay then, let's go to the Elemental Research Laboratory. Colette, what's wrong? I think I slept wrong. My shoulder feels stiff. You alright? Sorry. Alright. I'm still gonna keep the people with less experience in the party for now, because I do believe that's how that works. I could be wrong about that, of course. Now, Genus once more seems to be the best at cooking this. I need to check some things, though. Alright, we do have someone who mastered that. What does this do again? Small amount of TP. Checks out. Well, we could always use more TP. So we're just gonna head back to the laboratory. Before that, though, I'm just gonna... I have Eruption, so I'm just gonna start casting different spells instead to sort of get closer to that. Having those spells available. Welcome back. Everything's ready. Where's the EC? Kuchinawa carried it away already. Kuchinawa got it? What? I thought Kuchinawa had talked to you about it, but I guess he didn't. Go to the artificial beach on the right side of the Grand Tetheala Bridge. Kuchinawa should be waiting there. Also, take this with you. What's this? What do you mean, what's this? It's a wing pack. You can store the EC in it. In this? Is the elemental cargo that small? Ah, I see. They don't have wing packs in Silverant. Man, you guys are a bunch of country folk. Gee, sorry. Don't get mad now. I'll show you how to use it later. Come on, let's get going. Wait just a second. Coming out, Corinne. We're going to be gone for a while. Say goodbye to everyone. It's alright, they aren't going to do any more weird experiments on you. Corinne, how have you been? Look after Sheena for us. I hate this place. I have Sheena, so I won't be lonely. Corinne, don't talk like that. Goodbye. Well, we tried. I guess Corinne still hates us. Acquired wing pack. Man, I can't wait to board the EC. Lloyd sure is carefree about this. No kidding. It's ridiculous that we're going to be riding over the ocean in something that was designed as a land vehicle. You think so? Sounds a lot more reliable than those wash tubs. Wash tubs? No way. Don't tell me that in Silverant you cross the ocean on wash tubs. Just thinking about those wash tubs is making me sick. Now, boats do exist in Silverant, so that may be giving Zelos the wrong impression, but it's probably funnier that way. Anyways, the main gates are still guarded, so we're just gonna head back through the sewers. Conveniently, we no longer have to go into the actual field map for the sewers anymore. Though we can if we choose to. Well, off to the artificial beach we go. Kuchinao should be waiting for us at the bottom of the right staircase. Okay, then let's go. It is locked. You're right. I'll take care of it. There we go. Wow, Lloyd, you're amazing. At least he's useful for certain things. His face loses out to mine, though. What has my face got to do with anything? You can see the bridge. Oh, you're right. Are those decoration-looking things X-spheres? That's right, Colette. That bridge is operated by X-spheres. It's a bit gross-looking. It certainly is grotesque, although, knowing where X-spheres come from, I'm not sure it's appropriate to describe them that way. You're right. Well, here it is. Took you long enough. This is the EC. Okay, Lloyd, try using that pack you just got. Let's see. Like this? Whoa! Wow, that's incredible. Wow, how does it work? Why do I feel like I've seen this before? Ah, nothing. See? It fits inside. It disappeared! It's amazing! This is so cool. Let's try bringing it back out. Wow, it came back out. That's enough goofing around. How about getting on your way? Yeah. Alright, I can't wait to make use of this EC. This is great. You know you'll just get bored with it in no time. Yay, we get to go out to sea. We're going to sea, aren't we? Let's get going then. Off to Cyback. Sheena, take this with you. A protective charm? Yes, be careful. Acquired Kuchinawa's charm. Undini. With an appropriate sprinkling of mana, we begin moving. You can get on You can get on board the EC from any of the piers located in various places on the field map. Left stick, tilt left or right to turn. A, press to move forward. Right stick, tilt up or down to move forward or backwards. Left bumper and right bumper rotate the camera and the EC. Press B while at a pier to disembark from the EC. So, just a statement. Using the right stick to move forward tends to be much faster than, like, not. Alright, we've got boat now, and this is one of the piers we can land at. 2 Chosens. Doesn't it bother you, Colette? What? You know, being the Chosen. It's your own life. Don't you wish you could live it the way you want to? I'm living freely. Everyone is searching away, so I don't have to sacrifice myself. But what if there isn't any way? We'll worry about that when the time comes. Even if I lose my body, my heart will still be free. So I want the world to become a happy place, just like my heart desires. You're amazing, Colette. I could never be like that. No. I just talk like that. If it really came down to it, I'm sure I couldn't do it. I'm a pretty pathetic Chosen. No, you really are amazing. Compared to you, Alright, now we go meet with Kate to go bring Presea back to the lab.
Don't worry, leave it to me.
So it appears as though I was correct about Zelos' attacks being pretty significantly stronger now, at least.
Judgment. Pretty good, right?
Hold on a second, did I unmap that? No, I did not.
Kratos!
Ah, you're here now.
Are you trying to take Colette away?
I have no intention of fighting you inside the city.
Ow.
You still lack the skills to defeat me.
Don't insult me!
I merely speak the truth. Chosen One, if you wish to live, you must remove that worthless key crest.
No, I'm never taking it off. Lloyd gave this to me.
Foolish sentiments.
He wasn't after Colette?
Man, what an arrogant SOB. Talking as if he knows everything.
While we're on the subject of ways of talking, why don't you do something about the vulgar language?
Anyway, Lloyd, we must go see this Kate person.
Yeah, let's get going.
Wasn't expecting to see you here, and apparently giving medical advice too. Well, time to do what Zelos does best. Take money from university students and staff, apparently. I do believe what you get from the, from people you speak to is affected by Zelos' luck stat, which right now is 22. As I believe I've mentioned before, it changes pretty frequently. I think this is relatively on the low end. Either way, we're just gonna sneak back in here and talk about the ribbon. Oh, what a cute ribbon! You've got a great sense of style, Presea. This is a tool to protect myself. But it looks really good on you. Looks good. That is meaningless. Really? Well, it's you! We've saved our friends and came back with Presea, just like we promised. Yes, you're right. The strange mana produced by the fusion of elven and human blood. You really do have half-elf friends. I've heard the story. Presea is creating a crucius crystal inside her body? Yes, that's correct. We call it the Angelus Project. The Angelus Project. That's the project my mom was involved in. The X-Sphere itself is nothing special. It just has a special key crest placed on it. This key crest delays the X-Sphere's parasitic process, which can take place over a few days, or up to several decades. It seems this can cause X-Spheres to mutate into crucius crystals. Is the parasitic infection of the X-Sphere the reason why Presea's emotional response is so subdued? So, she's just like Colette. If we leave Presea like this, what will happen to her? When the parasitic process is complete, she will die. That's horrible! Please, save her! What did she ever do to you? Nothing. She hasn't done anything. She just matched in the compatibility test. You promised. You're going to save her, right? Yes, I know. You didn't discriminate against half-elves. I'll keep my promise. Kate, are you sure? If you do that, you'll... A promise is a promise. In order to save Presea, speak to a dwarf named Altessa who lives deep in Labyrinth Forest. There are dwarves in this world too? Yes, he and I participated in this experiment by the order of the Pope. Sheesh, not that pathetic old man again. Don't call him a pathetic old man! Oh my, that's unusual. A half-elf siding with the Pope. I'm not siding with him. Anyway, have Altessa repair Presea... I can't say that. Have Altessa repair Presea's key crest. Lloyd, can't you fix it? To be honest, I can't even tell the difference between this and a normal key crest. It'd probably be faster to search for that dwarf, Altessa. Then it's settled. Shall we head for Labyrinth Forest? Yeah, though, could there be a connection between the Pope and the designs? Yes, I'm wondering about that too. Alright. Well, with that out of the way, looks like we've got another quest to go partake in, as we always do. I need to know. I don't think the monument is anywhere around here.
Give it to me. Oh, Holy One, cast thy purifying light upon this corrupt soul.
No way!
Demon light spear!
I can't concentrate. I can't concentrate.
Ready for this? Wind blade!
I beg of thee to reveal thy glory.
Ready for this?
Angel feathers!
Wind
Devastation!
blade!
Beast!
Ready for this?
Once more
Wind
casting
blade.
magic, just to
So,
get closer to that. 17 uses. We're gonna be at this for a while.
I want to go home.
Anyways, I don't believe there's a monument that we can currently access to increase our move speed, so we're just gonna keep going elsewhere. Whoa, this place is creepy. Wow, it's dark. Colette, you're awfully cheery. Sorry. Whoops, it's the Papal Knights. Zelos, the Chosen, you are in the way of the Pope. I've known that since I was a kid. Then that makes things simple. It is time for you to die.
Let's get rid of him quickly.
I'd like to see you try.
Honor us with the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
Windblade!
No way.
Alright, we should probably focus a bit on healing for a bit.
First aid!
Devastation! Beat!
Ready for this?
Hammer!
First aid!
Wow, with Holy Song active, our party really made quick work of that guy, didn't we?
I beg of thee to reveal thy glory.
Ready for this?
Angel feathers!
Windblade!
Sure is lucky, magic auto-targeting corrects itself pretty quickly.
That was disappointing.
If that was Fireball, that would have missed. We won, but what are we going to do now? What else? Before they bring in reinforcements, we'll get the heck out of here. But to where? Perhaps Altessa's place? Exactly. Well, time to go trouble someone with our fleeing from the Pope.
Another battle. No!
Ready for this? Windblade!
Honor us with splendor. I can't concentrate.
Ready for this?
Beat!
Windblade!
As you can guess from a forest area, we're going to be encountering plenty of plant-themed monsters.
Honor us with the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
Light spear!
Beat!
Light spear!
Power seal!
Light spear! Man, I rule! I'm so cool!
We are once more working on Genus's cooking skills. Because you can never become too good at cooking.
Go!
No way.
I don't know, maybe there is an extreme, but we haven't found it yet at the very
Honor
least.
us with the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
Ready for this? Windblade!
Fire seal!
Now seems as good a time as any to heal up.
First
O
aid!
Holy One, cast thy purifying light upon these
Ready for
corrupt
this?
souls.
First aid!
Judgment.
Thank you. Found a weakness. Punishment.
I'm still never going to get over Colette learned Judgment. It's just such an awkwardly placed,
Ready for this?
just such an awkwardly placed text box.
I don't think they can come back.
You're becoming more like Lloyd, aren't you?
Well, I need to check something real quick. Was that a refinement item? Yes, it was a refinement item.
Here comes more of them.
Ready for this?
Thy faithful
Windblade!
honor us with the splendor of thy
Ready for
song.
this?
Holy song!
Windblade!
Devastation!
Ready for this?
We love Windblade.
I beg of thee to reveal thy glory.
Ready for
Angel
this?
feathers! Found a weakness.
First aid!
Thanks. No way.
Just gonna step back a bit further, just in
Ready
case.
for this?
Can't let my healing get interrupted.
Evil doesn't stand a chance.
If I'm not mistaken, we come out over here, and right behind us... Come on. Not what I was looking for. That's what I'm looking for, but we'll go ahead and check that out as well. So that glowing circle we saw, and that one over there as well, basically there are conversations you can have between party members on the field. I frankly don't remember where most of them are and don't really bother doing them. But what they do is they allow characters to gain affinity for each other, which it's pretty neat. What's wrong? Huh? Why are you sighing? Oh, I was just thinking that I've changed. You have? I think I've become more stubborn because of you. That's good. No, it's not. We only need one person who's stubborn. Hey, like the professor says, you shouldn't give up on things so easily. That's true, but you do get bored with things pretty easily. No, I don't. I don't give up on anything. Liar! Then why did you stop trying to memorize the summon spirit relational chart? That's another matter. Anyway, let's go. I'm getting bored of this place. Lloyd, you don't follow what you say. Perfectly normal banter between these two.
Ready for this?
Good job, Sheena.
Splendor of
Ready
thy
for this?
song. Holy song!
Wind blade. Ready for this?
Power seal.
They tried to
Doesn't
cast.
stand a chance.
Genius has somehow failed at making a fruit cocktail, but you know what? At least it's better than failing at sandwich. I can forgive him for that. Anyways, now let's actually go through the forest. You know, the intended route. The function of the Sorcerer's Ring changed. Hey, this time it emits light. It's like a lamp. What do we use it for? The forest is dark, so there may be some plants that react strongly to light. You see in the top left, we've got a sort of little battery gauge going. And if we stand in these bright spots, that battery gauge goes back up. Labyrinth Forest. The Gauracha Forest used to be just a normal forest a long time ago. Oh, really? But then, one day, a thief hid a stolen treasure deep in the forest. Treasure? What kind of treasure? It was a jewel worth several billion gold. So anyway, he slaughtered everyone who came looking for it. Whoa, that's horrible. Over time, the forest became stained with blood, transforming it into a cursed place, haunted by the lingering resentment of the people killed here. Are you serious? You're just trying to scare us, right? Even now, when travelers enter the forest, the thief's ghost comes to kill them. And the ones he killed also seek to increase their numbers. Ah! Sheesh, not even 3-year-olds believe stories like that these days. Okay, to be fair, we've encountered a lot of ghosts, so it's not out of the ordinary.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
Ready for
No
this?
way.
Full servant.
Wind blade.
Thy blessed honor us,
Fire
the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
We once
Ready
more
for
just
this?
continue casting.
Wind blade.
Ow!
Infliction.
Rude.
Demon fang.
O Holy One, cast thy purifying
Ready
light
for this?
upon this corrupt soul. Judgment! Found a weakness!
How's that? Die.
Light spear.
Ready? Silver seal.
I'm just too pretty. Seriously.
Alright, 2 people have hit 32, and our backup party has reached 33. 3 people have hit 32, actually. I did not recognize the first level when it went off.
You want to tussle?
That was rude.
Huh?
Ready for this? Wind blade.
Ready for this?
Honor
No!
the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
Ready for this? First aid.
Power seal.
Punishment! Beast!
Ready.
This takes concentration.
I beg of thee to
Rude.
reveal thy glory. Angel feathers!
Die.
Light
Power
spear.
seal.
I'm so confused. That was Combo Wing earlier.
O Holy One, cast thy
Ready for this?
purifying light upon
Wind
this corrupt
blade.
soul. Judgment!
And don't come back.
I don't think they can come back.
You're becoming more like Lloyd, aren't you?
Yes. Probably not a good thing. Anyways. Is this... There we go. If we continually hit these plants with light, they retreat. And that could give us some pretty nifty stuff. Like the Phoenix Rod. Which, we haven't had an upgrade for Rain in a while, mostly because I couldn't find enhancement materials. But finally, she gets some more intelligence off a weapon. Not that she didn't from the Ruby Wand, but just more than the Ruby Wand.
Don't worry, leave it to me.
Ready for this?
No way.
Wind blade.
I beg of thee to reveal thy glory.
No way.
feathers.
Ready for this?
Found a weakness.
Wind blade.
Devastation.
Ready for this?
Die.
Wind
I
blade.
beg of
Gonna
you,
keep,
feel thy glory. Angel
casting
feathers.
Windblade.
Ready for this? Wind blade.
Power devastation. Die.
Rude.
Ready for this?
Whoops.
Wind blade.
I want to go home.
We're working on it. We'll get you home eventually. Eventually. Alright, let's go ahead and open that up for later. And now we do the only responsible thing that explorers do, and search for treasure. Alright, I'm not going to lie, this place is essentially the Lost Woods, which I suck at. Except I don't even think there's really any tells for when you're going the wrong way here. Come on. Please. Again. Please. There we go. Pretty ribbon was found. I believe that's better than what Presea has right now. We're just gonna recharge our flashlight real quick. I think we might want the actual, like, fire sorcerer's ring for that. We'll come back to that some other time. Never mind, I guess, Huh. That doesn't look very good.
50% output should be sufficient.
Ready for this?
Oh,
Wind
Lord.
Well, I think we found the thief's
Purify
treasure.
light upon these corrupt souls.
Ready for this?
Judgment.
Wind
The
blade.
weakness. Infliction.
Ready for this? Wind blade.
Die.
Ready for this? Wind blade.
Beast.
Ready for this? Wind blade.
Ready for this?
I wanna
Wind
go
blade.
home.
I'm just gonna go ahead and use a bunch of first aids real quick. What's this thing? It won't open. It's sealed by some type of power. You shouldn't fiddle with it. I don't like the looks of it. Well, that's something for another day. That is the first of a set of items known as the Devil Arms. Basically, you were not here before. But basically, Devil Arms are weapons that are cursed in some way. They have some of the highest stats in the entire game, but I believe they just inflict a bunch of random debuffs and such on your party, and like the people using them. I've never really bothered obtaining any of them, but they do tend to be rather strong, all things considered. Fight! 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 Fighting is everything. I remember my reason to exist. Strong one, fight me. Why not? Wager your life, and come!
This is gonna be tough.
Well, it's been a minute since we've seen you. Hello there, Sword Dancer. We're just gonna go ahead and use a life bottle real quick. Not life bottle, magic lens real quick.
There! Ha!
What a sorry way to go.
There it
Upon closer examination, this may have been a mistake.
Tiger blade!
Force field.
Tiger blade!
Sonic sword.
Bring back this soul from purgatory! Resurrection!
No way! Tiger blade! Sonic sword! Here we go! Light
Lightning.
spear! Tiger blade!
Photon! So that's the weakness.
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Upon closer examination, this is not going very well for us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have... Okay, we don't have a group version of sharpness upon closer examination. And field barrier's already been cast.
Ready for this? First aid.
We're just gonna...
Tiger Blade! Sonic Sword Blade!
Help is on the way.
Watch this! Demonic Thrust!
Ready for this?
Alright, Demonic Thrust is our first, I believe, Tier 3 tech. And basically, it's pretty obvious what it does. But Demonic Thrust combines Demon Fang and Sonic Thrust. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have that equipped, because now we can get some truly interesting combos going. Oh! That,
Ready for this?
I'm just gonna
First aid.
hang back a bit.
Field barrier.
How would you do that?
Tiger Blade!
Ready for
Sonic
this?
Sword Blade!
First
Demonic
aid.
Thrust!
Pancake time. Stalagmite.
Rain is dead, so I'm just gonna... I'm not even sure if this is worth continuing to fight right now. We have not gotten very far. I'm just gonna let this thing kill me real quick.
Pancake time.
First aid.
Stalagmite.
In fact, I'm going to be so good. I'm going to be so adamant about losing here that I'm intentionally going to run my characters into the ground. It's gonna be great.
Pancake time. Stalagmite.
Oh, of course, I'll try for just a bit more.
What a sorry way to go.
What text does Genius have right now? Alright, let's see. He needs to cast a bit of Icicle. I'm gonna have... Let's see, what tier 2 spells do we have? Spread. Eruption. Air Thrust. Stalagmite. Thunderblade. Then there's Dreaded Wave, and Force Field's his down guard, right? We're just gonna cast a bit of Icicle. Probably die in the process.
Come get some. Air thrust.
Right, that is notably not what I said Icicle to.
Get 'em. Icicle. Get 'em. Don't.
Well, we tried, but I'm not supposed to do this yet once more. Your level of power is not enough to restore myself. Fair enough, we will come back at a later day. For now, though, we're just gonna go ahead and use Nurse. Twice. Alright, and with that, we're just going to switch her party back to the people who are currently lower leveled. That looks better. Okay, and now we keep going on our journey through this maze that I'm apparently not very good at.
.50% output should be sufficient.
I'd be lying if I said I intended to find that.
Punishment. I beg of thee to
Gotta be
reveal
kidding
thy
me.
glory. Angel feathers.
Ready for this? Wind Blade. Ready for this?
Whirlwind.
Wind
Just gonna
Blade.
keep casting.
Beast.
Ready for this? Wind Blade.
And don't come back.
I don't think they can come back.
You be.
A memory seal. Once more, I don't have the gem yet. This tends to happen to me a lot. Anyways, we found something useful.
I hear something. Footsteps from far away.
I don't hear anything.
Colette still has her angel senses.
They're definitely footsteps. Also, the sound of clinking armor.
That can't be good.
I'd skip that.
Tessa lives over there. Could it be more of the same guys from earlier?
I'll send Corinne out to scout.
What the hell? You again.
That's the guy from the Meltokyo sewer.
Man, it's just one thing after another with the Pope. Am I really that much of a problem to him?
Yes, apparently.
I do not wish to fight you. I just want to speak with that girl.
With Presea?
You've got to be kidding. Or did you forget that you tried to kill us?
I cannot speak for any others. However, I, at least, never intended to take your lives. My orders were to retrieve a girl named Colette.
Me?
I will do you no harm. Presea is her name, correct? Please, let me speak with her. An X-Sphere? You are yet another victim?
Presea's in
he tried.
danger.
I don't know what the heck is going on, but we have to stop this guy.
I mean, yeah. What
We
kind
have no
of
choice
grown
but to
man
fight.
has business with a child? We're just gonna magic lens
Here
it.
you go.
Crescent, move.
Sonic
Honor us
thrust.
with the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
Sheena is not having a good time right now.
First aid.
Beasts!
Spin kick.
We're just gonna try and help her out there.
First aid. Ready for this? First aid.
I must say, this guy is surprisingly good at kicking people.
Ready for this? First aid.
Beast!
Spin kick. Ha, ha, ha. Light spear. Spin kick.
We're just gonna go back to casting, I think.
Ready for this? Wind blade. Eagle eye.
He is very mobile.
Ready for this? First aid. Spin kick. Spin kick. Ready for this?
Sheena, please.
First aid.
Sheena, please.
First aid.
Song! Infliction!
Ready for this? Crescent. First aid.
You just said you had no intent to harm us.
Ready for this?
Please.
First aid.
Thank you.
Stop targeting the one person you wanted to have a normal conversation with.
Don't come back!
I don't think they can come back.
You're becoming more like Lloyd, aren't you?
Well,
He sounds like he has reasons for his actions. Perhaps we should take him prisoner? I'm sure he has much to tell us.
Sheena, there were a lot of soldiers and they're all coming this way. Run away quickly.
sounds like a plan.
Looks like Colette was right.
The footsteps keep getting louder.
Shouldn't we get out of here?
Yes.
But the Papal Knights are waiting for us if we go back.
It looks like we have no choice. I'll take you to the village of Mizuho.
Whoa there, Sheena. Isn't Mizuho a hidden village, kept secret from outsiders?
But we'll be trapped from both sides if we don't do something. There's nothing we can do but take shelter in the village.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Please show us the way, Sheena.
He's Zelos. Carry the big guy for us.
Me? You want me to carry this ogre by myself? Are you kidding me?
Here, I'll help. Zelos will have a hard time by himself.
Aw, you're so nice, Colette. We Chosens have to look out for each other, right?
Yeah.
What a fool.
Oh, he's lighter than I thought. I can carry him myself.
Huh, I see.
Men are so useless these days.
As a man, I can't disagree.
Come on, we need to go.
Especially given everything we've seen so far. Oh no. Where in Garacha Forest is this Mizuho village? I can't tell you that. We'll be there soon anyway, so just be patient. I see you Mizuho people are secretive as secretive as ever. It's to protect our unique culture. If you don't like it, you can wait in the forest. You've got to be kidding. I'll pass on being left behind in the forest of death. The odds of surviving alone in Garacha Forest, 25%. Ouch. Don't say stuff like that, Presea. You'll be fine. You look like the type that just won't die. I'll second that. What? You know what they say. The pretty boys die young. Incorrect usage detected. Correction necessary. Presea! Well, glad to know we see where Presea sits on that issue. What's your fighting style called? Oh, I'm a Guardian user. I fight with special cards infused with powers. Guardian user, huh? When I first met you, I was surprised that you could fight with a piece of paper. When dwarves create accessories, they carve charms into them, right? It's similar to that. I see. So if I buy some paper and draw some charms on it, it won't work. It's a secret art. Darn. If you really want to learn it, you could become one of us. How do I do that? Like, marrying? Now. Do we just blindly accept it, or... It'd be funnier that way. Okay. What? I just need to marry, right? No, I mean, if you want to, then... I just need to marry someone in your village, right? You're so insensitive. Anyway, speaking of the village in question, we are here. The mystical village, Mizuho. Hello there.
Sheena, what is the meaning of this? How could you bring outsiders into the village?
I am prepared to accept my punishment. Inform the Vice Chief. I've brought the travelers from Silverant.
From Silverant? You are from the dying world of Silverant?
Well, except for me.
I see. Sheena, come with me. The rest of you, wait in front of the chief's house.
Fair enough.
Oh, he's awake.
Where am I?
You're our prisoner, and don't try anything funny.
I like to think that I'm smart enough not to start trouble when I don't understand the situation.
He's got a point. Well, in the meantime, not even Zelos can charm these people, apparently. At least some of them. Never mind, that's a guy. I don't know what I was thinking. In the meantime, we have these people again. Let me out. Hello there. Welcome to the variety shop, Toyama. We also offer customization services. Wow, I have none of the materials I'm required to customize with. I also don't appear to have a Hydra dagger. Or a steel sword. What the I don't have anything. I have no swords. In the meantime, let's check the variety shop. Oh, nifty. These are some pretty nifty things. Let's pick up weapons for Lloyd and Colette. And while we're at it, we might as well pick up the wind card. Never mind, I don't have enough for that. Well, we were most of the way there. So Colette now has access to Shuriken. Nifty. And Lloyd has Shiden. Anyways, time to wait in front of the chief's house. I meant to speak to him, but that works too.
Travelers from Silverant, you may enter.
Thank you.
Our leader, Chief Igaguri, is ill. I, the Vice Chief Taiga, shall speak on his behalf. Because Sheena failed to kill you, we, the people of Mizuho, now face persecution from the Tetheala royal family and...
Is that true?
Why did I skip that?
Yes, at least from what I've heard.
Now I have a question. People of Silverant, what do you plan to do in Tetheala, the land of your enemies?
I've been thinking about that for a long time. Someone asked me why I came all the way to Tetheala, what it is that I want to do. I want a world where everyone can have a normal life. I'm tired of people having to become sacrifices. I'm tired of discrimination. I'm tired of people becoming victims. I'm tired of it all.
You are an idealist. The worlds of Tetheala and Silverant flourish only by victimizing the other. So long as that structure remains the same, anything you say is mere sophistry.
Then we need to change that structure. This world was made by that Yggdrasil guy, right? If a human or elf built this, then we should be able to change it as well.
You speak like the hero, Mythos. He was a sublime idealist. He ended the ancient war by insisting there was a way for the two warring countries to coexist in peace. Are you saying you can become the next Mythos?
I'm not Mythos. I want to save the two worlds my way with the help of my friends.
I see. In other words, you aren't worried about following past methods. Well then, we shall search for a new path as well.
Vice Chief, do you mean...
Yes, we will use our information network to aid you. In return, when the path of prosperity for both worlds has been found, we wish to move our people to Silverant.
But I don't have any right to decide something like that.
All we need is for you to aid us in our move.
Is everyone okay with us joining forces with the people of Mizuho?
If it will change the relationship of the two worlds.
Well, it doesn't sound like a bad deal.
Let's hurry up and decide so we can go rescue Presea.
As long as Tetheala is safe, I don't care what you guys do.
Okay then, it's settled. We're going to look for a way to change the two worlds. Let's work together.
Agreed. Then I hereby order Sheena to continue to accompany you. This time, however, not just as an observer, but as a representative. Make us proud.
Yes, sir.
But Taiga, you sure you want to turn the royals and the church against you like that?
How about if I ask you? Given a choice between the forces which wish to sacrifice one of the worlds, and the force that wishes to preserve both worlds, which would you side with?
I'd like to say the one that's likely to win, but I suppose I'd want to help the side that wants to preserve both worlds.
Exactly. Now the first thing we shall do is devote all our resources to locating the Riards. Fortunately, it appears that Sheena attached a guardian to the Riards, so we should be able to locate them shortly.
Understood. Thank you for your help.
That's nice.
Is he for real?
Lloyd obtained the title of Gentle Idealist.
What's your name?
Regal.
Regal, huh? I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to keep you prisoner for a bit longer.
Lloyd, how about letting Pops here fight too?
Even though he might betray us?
He has business with Presea, right? And he's not going to try anything before he gets a chance to speak with her, you know?
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Rain?
I don't know about this, but I won't make a fuss. I also started off as your enemy.
She's got a point.
Well, will you fight alongside us for now?
All right. I swear upon my good name and these shackles that bind me, I shall not betray you.
If you do anything, even the slightest bit suspicious, I'll burn you to a crisp. Got it?
Well then, welcome to our group, Regal.
A new party member. Well, since we got that title anyway, let's go ahead and check everyone's titles out real quick. I'm gonna switch Zelos off Tetra Slash, give him some more intelligence. He could certainly use it. Check some things. HP defense, strength, accuracy. She's had TP and intelligence for long enough. We can do with some strength and HP. Still nothing for Presea. Into intelligence and evasion. Obviously we give Rain strength and defense. This was TP and intelligence, right? She can keep Crimson Rose. And looks like Genus can keep Magic Cycle. Now, Gentle Idealist seems to be a much more defense-focused title. Not even defense, actually, just TP and intelligence. This could be interesting. I think for now I'm just going to keep Grand Swordsman, though. Sheena still doesn't have any new titles, and Regal is now part of our party. Let's go ahead and get him kitted out with whatever we've got. Amber Cloak, Cleric's Hat, Bracelet. You can have some random resistances. Anyways, time to get out of here. But first, I hope they can find the Riards. Mizuho's intelligence network is nothing to sneeze at. They'll find them for sure. Yeah, I've heard some incredible stuff about the Mizuho intelligence network. Supposedly, they know the location of all the treasures in Tetheala. You bet. When we really want to, there's nothing we can't find out. Sounds like a great thing to have on our side. I wonder if they could research the measurements of all the girls in Tetheala for me. You stupid chosen. Get out of my way, sir. Oh, hello. It seems the pursuers have left the forest. You should hurry. Alright, let's head for Altessa's place right away. I want to go home to my village. Alright. Ah, right. Was that first then? Yes, Presea's parents are probably worried about her. We should head to Ozette. Well, off to Ozette we go then. Which, as it turns out, happens to be quite literally right next to, Altessa's house. So we could just cut straight through to that. If we go this way, we now have access to Ozette is this village right here.
This is gonna be cake.
And those structures in the wall are Altessa's house, or is Altessa's house.
You ain't going nowhere. This takes Don't get in my way. You ain't going. This takes concentration.
Can you please stop?
You ain't going nowhere.
Field barrier.
I get it already. I ain't going nowhere.
Ready for this? This takes concentration, you know.
Can you not?
Ready for this? Damn, I must be an air thrust.
Damn, I must be at air thrust. Alright, Zelos has finally learned that spell, so we're just gonna go ahead and... Is there another tier 2 spell he has yet to learn? Thunderblade. We've already got lightning equipped, so we can go ahead and, Actually, we could use some Stone Blast cast, because he's probably gonna end up learning, something, tier 2.
Ready for this?
I'll help.
Stone Blast. Ready for this? Stone Blast.
What a fool.
I want to go home.
We're working on it, Presea. I'm sorry. Also, we're just gonna go ahead and switch Regal into the party. Regal has a very fascinating kit. Basically, I'm gonna switch him into first for a bit. Regal's kit is entirely dependent on using his moves in combination with each other. Crescent Moon is an anti-air attack, a spinning kick that can be linked to a mid-air attack. So, basically, there are 3 categories to Regal's attacks. We have ground attacks, anti-air attacks, and mid-air attacks. And they become very fascinating very quickly. So, for example, I'm just going to go ahead and get this kit working in a way that I like to see. So we're going to have Mirage in the center. What it does is sneaks up behind an enemy. Basically, he moves behind an enemy to get past their guard. Spin Kick is we're going to take Crescent Moon, since it's an anti-air attack. Eagle Dive is a mid-air attack that basically makes him fall to the ground quickly. And we've got Spin Kick, which is another ground attack. And I'm going to demonstrate Regal's combos. I'm not very good at them, but there we go.
We can do it!
So if I use Mirage, I sneak around, but then I can do something like Spin Kick, Crescent Moon, Eagle Dive.
Spin kick, crescent, eagle, crescent, eagle, spin kick.
Or I can do Crescent Moon, Eagle Dive, Spin Kick. Overall, he's a very fascinating character who has some very interesting and, like, not unique ways of fighting, but he almost plays like a fighting game character. It's pretty neat. He's got very natural special combos. Anyways, we've finally made it to Ozette.
Boy, we have to follow her.
Huh? Yeah.
Well, we're finally at Presea's home. It's been long enough, and I'm gonna keep Zelos as the person who we are on the map, just because of this. Lloyd's wanted poster has been updated and actually looks like him now, unfortunately. Anyways, here we've got an inn. We're gonna speak with these people again. I thought Presea was gone, but she came back, didn't she? These people have some fascinating things to say about Presea. Aren't you all with Presea just now? Are you related to that cursed child? Trust me, you'd best not get involved with her. Reasons for the shackles. Say, Regal, why do you keep those handcuffs on? These are the symbol of my crime. A crime symbolized by handcuffs? I know, you're a handcuff thief. Oh, that's not it? Then you ran around causing trouble by putting handcuffs on people? I'm sorry, I suppose I should have said it in a way that was easier to understand. It was rather easy to understand, it's just you're talking to an idiot. Where did y'all come from? I've never left the village. What? A dwarf? You mean the bearded man? If you're looking for the bearded man, he lives to the south of here. Go south. Hi, are you travelers as well? I've been traveling too and came all the way to this village. It seems this village is the birthplace of the Pope. Of the Pope, you say? Ozette's craftwork is famous, although lately we've been getting fewer customers. It appears as though you are not one of said craft workers. Unfortunate. Come on. There we go. Did you come to buy armor? Just so you know, I won't sell any to half-elves. Well, that's rude. Welcome to Tranquility. We also offer customization services. It's just kind of a shame that I don't seem to have anything you can upgrade. Unless you've got a Hydra Dagger. Not what I meant to do. Might be the literal only thing I can afford, but you know what, we'll take it. Get that on Lloyd. Not that. There we go.
Thank you. Are these guests as well?
Porters.
Oh, I see.
Presea, we have to make a key crest for you. My job awaits. Goodbye.
Only Presea can retrieve the sacred wood used in the ritual at the church. I'm quite pleased that she has finally returned.
Huh. Strange
That
guy.
man, he's a half-elf.
He is? Now that you mention it, didn't we see him in Meltokyo too?
Yes.
He's creepy.
Indeed.
I agree, but I gotta say that I feel sorry for the guy. I mean, he has to deal with the fact that there are magnificent specimens of males around like me.
I'd say you two are on the same level.
Got him.
I heard that, you little twerp.
At any rate, we should have a talk with Presea.
Yeah.
Alright. She's finally home.
That smell.
Look.
Oh my... How horrible.
What the... This is not cool.
How could this happen?
Most likely the effect of X-Sphere's parasitism. Presea has no idea what's become of the person in that bed.
How could that?
Presea, are you not coming with us?
I must do my job.
Let's leave Presea here for now.
Here?
If we try to move her, she will just fight back. Let's go see Altessa by ourselves, to ask him about repairing the key crest.
Yeah.
That is, something in the bed, to say the least. That weird guest of Presea's. He was in Meltokyo too, wasn't he? Yeah, I have a bad feeling about this. I can sense the smell of blood on him. Let's hurry to Altessa's place. It's dangerous to leave Presea with that man. Yeah, that's a full-on corpse in the bed right there. This is, just a bit dark. That's not where I meant to go. Here. Oh. Colette, are you alright? Ah, yeah, I stumbled. I'm clumsy. Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. That's, not a good sign. Anyways, here we are. Altessa's house. Pretty, dwarfy indeed.
Who is it?
Excuse us. We've heard that there's a dwarf living here. Is there any chance we could see him?
You desire a meeting with Master Altessa. Please, come inside.
Who are you people?
My name is Lloyd. We've come in regards to Presea. We heard about you from Kate in Cyback.
Leave.
What?
I don't want anything more to do with that girl. Get out of here.
Well, we tried.
What was that all about?
I apologize. The Master does not want to get involved with Presea.
Why? He doesn't care if she dies?
It is not that. It is because the Master regrets what he has done.
Then please, save Presea. All she needs is for her key crest to be fixed.
I do not know if that would truly be in her best interest.
Why? How could anything be worse than living in that cruel condition while waiting to die?
If you are that committed, then you should search for inhibitor ore.
Presea's key crest isn't made out of inhibitor ore?
Correct. Her crest is...
Tabitha, what are you doing? Get rid of them.
I apologize. I must return. Please come back again. I will attempt to persuade him.
Well, that was weird.
Where can we find the inhibitor ore?
I've heard it's mined in the mountain range that extends between Altamira and the Ymir Forest. I would like to help if you're going to create a key crest for Presea. I can lead you to the mine.
Just what is your relation to Presea anyway?
There is none.
Yet you sure seem concerned about her.
Well, either way, you haven't done anything suspicious so far. You're welcome to come along with us.
Inhibitor ore is found relatively near the surface of the X-Sphere mine. The mine I know of is across the sea from here, on the southern continent.
You said Altamira, right? That place is awesome. Let's stop by there on the way.
We don't have time to hang out at that gaudy resort.
The sea? We're going out to sea again?
Once more.
Okay then, let's go.
Yeah, let's hurry.
By the way, this has been bugging me for a while now. Haven't we met somewhere before? Fine.
Ouch.
Ignore me. Not very friendly, are ya?
Just giving the cold shoulder. How rude. Anyways, let's see. We can swap Sheena in. Is Tabitha an angel? That Tabitha girl was a little strange, you know? Really? How should I put it? She reminds me of you when you had lost your heart as part of the angel transformation. Perhaps it is because she did not engage in respiration. What? Are you saying she wasn't breathing? Are you serious? So it appeared. I suppose she could have undergone heavy training to breathe silently, but... Don't tell me she's an angel, too. She didn't seem like a bad person. We can't be too careful. Well, anyways, it appears as though it is time for us to, go and, fetch that inhibitor ore, I suppose. And we could stop at Altamira on the way back. But before that... You're all with her, aren't you? Her? Presea, you were with that monster. Don't call Presea a monster. What? She hasn't aged a day for the longest time. What are you talking about? That's not all. Even though her father is dead, she won't even make him a grave. She's a monster. Half-elves are nothing compared to her. Will you guys take that monster and get it out of this village? I'll thank you for it. You won't regret it. That's fucking rude. How can you say that? Oh, so you're saying that a child that never grows up isn't weird? Well, but there's a reason Presea is like that. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't change how freaky she is. I doubt you outsiders would understand. Outsiders? It's true that we didn't watch Presea stay young while everyone else grew old. But that's not Presea's fault. It's the same reason half-elves are persecuted. Yes, If half-elves could live apart from humans like the elves, things might be different. But half-elves have no choice but to live in human villages. And humans experience the difference in the passage of time, and are constantly reminded of the fact that they are different species. Let's save Presea. Nothing good can come out of it if she stays this way. Half-elves and a cursed girl. Why are people like that all the way out here? It defeats the purpose of living quietly out in the country. Well, let's go ahead and pick up some ingredients. Sure sounds like we could use some. Never mind, I'm out of money, right. Anyways, that brings up something I've been meaning to talk about. Regal's personal skill. He gets a bunch of discounts, and he makes more money when selling items. It is a very nice personal. So nice, in fact, I'm gonna sell some of these extra random items that I don't particularly care to have. Okay, that's actually pretty much all I should probably sell. Yeah. Well, let's get back to that X-Sphere mine, so we can figure out what's going on with Presea. Right, this is not the way out. I have no idea why, but I, kinda just can't see in this place. It's very awkward, to say the least. X-Sphere mines, huh? Right. What? Something wrong with that? Surely you'd know about it, too. X-Sphere mines in the vicinity of Altamira. What else is there besides the Toa's Valley mine? Ah, that one that's connected by tunnel to Moria? And if that's the one, think for a moment about who it is that owns the mountains in that area. I guess it'd have to be the Lazzareno Company. But so what? Oh, brother, is your chest the only part of you that's well endowed? You better shut up or I'll smack you. Don't say it after you smacked me. Sheesh.
I don't care for pointless battles.
Crescent, Eagle, ready for this? Wind kick.
Damn, I must be a healing wind.
Alright. Zelos has learned a new healing technique.
Crescent, Eagle dive.
Technically, if we had Rain on a certain path, we could have had her learn it.
Goodbye, worthless enemies.
But, we didn't. Anyway, Healing Wind is, it's an AoE heal, kind of like Nurse, except instead of healing all at once,
Don't worry.
and covering the entire map, it covers a very specific portion of the battlefield, and, heals several times. Though for a smaller amount than an individual Nurse heal. Either way, still a great healing skill, and we should be very happy that we have it now. Also, I'm not sure where the monument for this place is. I have the feeling I've just seen it, but I would not know where.
You guys stalking me or something?
Hit!
Cast the purifying light upon this corrupt soul.
Crescent, Eagle dive. Spin kick.
Goodbye, worthless enemies.
Well, let's cross the sea then. We were told to go to the southern sea, so since we're in the northern part, we're just gonna skip past that for now. Between Dirk and Altessa, I wonder who's the better craftsman. How should I know? As far as I can tell, Altessa possesses more advanced skills. Heart is more important than skills. Dad would never abandon someone in need. You're just getting upset because he's your father. Understandable, though I can't disagree with Lloyd. Alright, I believe where we're going is somewhere over here. There's a port right there. Come on. Let me out of this thing. Come on. There we go. And now, that over there. Oh, shit.
We can do it! Thy faithful servant asks for thy blessing. Honor us with the splendor of thy song. Holy song! Try this!
Sonic has right here!
Ah, that's no good. Colette's been turned to stone. We can go ahead and correct that with the Panacea bottle. Actually? Yeah, petrify.
Love me now, huh?
I call upon the heavenly messengers. I summon thee.
Honor us with the splendor of thy song.
Are you
Alright,
ready?
summon spirit self.
Here I go!
I'm not 100% sure what this did for us, but it did something.
Ready?
Possibly.
Honor us with the splendor of thy song. Protect us!
Why, thank you, Zelos.
Crescent,
Silver Sea song!
spin kick.
Ah, this thing's too short to be hit by a spin kick. Good to know.
Silver Sea!
Not even a contest.
Also, I believe I heard Sheena get a new tech. She may have just been using these S-seals upon closer examination. All they do is change your party members' attacks to be of a certain elemental type.
Let's get rid of him quickly.
Demon crescent, eagle, spin kick. Ready for this? Not a chance.
First aid.
Ready for this? Not a chance.
Right thrust! Try this!
Crescent,
Silver
eagle
Seal!
dive.
That was pathetic.
We are definitely not entirely out of mana. We're just gonna keep sandwiches going for a while because we're out of ingredients for pretty much everything else. On one hand, it checks out. On the other hand, oof. Well, we're here. Wow, so this is that sealed mine. Sure looks like it might house a ghost or two, don't you think? Will you be quiet for just a little while? What's with you? Don't get mad, Sheena. This isn't good. What's wrong, Regal? The door's guard system is out of control. Someone must have destroyed it when trying to force their way through. Then let's bust it up even more. That's our Lloyd. That's an easy to understand plan. Yeah, I'm fine with that too. Well, if Lloyd says so, it's fine with me. Are you sure? Don't blame me if something goes wrong. Honestly.
Wow, it's big.
That's one way of putting it, yes. Anyways, we now have the defense system boss fight.
Sonic double demon bang!
So there's various units here. We have the actual defense system. We have various guard arms that we actually can't target and attack. We have some regular enemies that defend the auto repair unit. And yeah, that's about it.
Ready for this? First aid.
Crescent, eagle dive, spin kick.
No way.
Also, we are once again out of
Ready for this?
Power hammer! Power seal! Lloyd!
Have a taste of this.
Lloyd. Colette, are you okay?
No way!
Ready for this?
That was notably not Lloyd you just did a team attack with.
Raise satellite!
Demon light spear.
Pow hammer!
So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the auto healing system first, or the auto repair system first. I just feel like it would make sense. And now we can attack the door without worrying that it will be repaired.
Sonic double demon thing.
I'm just gonna use this opportunity to build up some TP. Though, it seems as though... Not yet. I have the feeling something isn't working correctly in the fight. Oh, there it is. Alright, the auto repair system is back online, so we're just gonna go ahead and stop that before it gets some really major healing off. I'm gonna trust my allies to take care of the normal enemies while I break this thing down. Also, Sheena looks like she's having a great time.
You gotta be kidding me. Damn.
Well, Sheena's down, though that's... Frankly, I don't know how she got downed. She just kinda did. I'm gonna blame it on her. I'm gonna make sure Zelos keeps casting Healing Wind. Go ahead and cast it on Sheena.
Okay.
She looks like she could use it the most.
No way.
Ready for this? Healing wind. Ready for this? First aid. Eagle spin.
I think we should give Zelos a gel of some kind. Probably the pineapple gels that we've picked up so far.
Here you go.
Here you go, he says to himself.
This takes concentration, you know.
Once more, I am going to trust my allies with the normal enemies.
Healing wind.
Ah, the auto repair system's back up.
Let's go.
Power seal.
Apparently, we can't team attack it. Good to know.
Spin kick.
Ready? This takes concentration, you know. This takes concentration, you know.
Zelos, keep getting shot. You're making a wonderful meat shield.
Kidding me.
Chris, ready for this? Eagle spin. Healing wind.
No way.
Crescent moon.
This takes concentration, you know. This takes concentration. You know?
I'm gonna pretend I can see.
Oh yeah.
Zelos has entered over limit.
Eagle dive. Ready for this? Healing wind.
You could have put that on me. You know, the person actually breaking the door. I'm just gonna switch to Zelos real quick and let him finish this out.
Light spear. That was so. I'm just too pretty. Seriously.
We could use a sandwich. Okay, good work, everyone. Now let's go get that whatchamacallit. Inhibitor ore. Yeah, that. Come on, let's go. They're all so violent. Indeed we are, and we are very proud of it.
Let's see if numbers will make.
We're gonna go ahead and have Zelos cast Healing Wind on me. I could use it.
Okay.
Straight.
Ready
for this? Eagle dive.
Healing wind.
Crescent. Eagle dive.
Holy song.
Crescent moon.
This takes concentration, you know.
Eagle dive. Ready for this? Healing wind. Not a chance.
You ready for this? Serpent seal.
Alright, Sheena's learned a new seal, it seems.
As expected.
Also, Zelos is paralyzed, but we're not going to deal with that.
And don't come back. I don't.
I'm just gonna keep making some sandwiches between these fights.
How many of you are there?
Alright.
Not a chance.
Crescent
Eagle dive. Spin kick. Crescent Eagle dive. Spin kick. Mirage. cave.
My favorite technique, backflip kick.
That was pathetic.
In case it's not obvious yet, I do think Regal has some of the best, most fluid combat in this game. It looks like we could jump over this. No, that boulder's in the way. Well, we could jump over it if we got the boulder out of the way, at least. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on. The machines in this mine are built quite sturdily. This was a mine from the ancient times. These machines are also from that time. What? Rather than preserving ancient relics, they're still actively using them here? Well, I suppose you could look at it that way, but blasphemy! This cannot be allowed. Bring me the one responsible now. I'm sorry. We're just gonna go ahead and ride this thing all the way across. But if we flick that lever, we could indeed change the path. What are you thinking so hard about? That's not like you. The lift cable split halfway, right? I was just kind of wondering where it leads. Oh, that's easy. Yo, Regal, give us an explanation. It leads to an old tunnel. The apparatus in the middle switches the cable, but we can't get to it like this. The lever thing is a switch, right? Can't we just try hitting it with something? Something? Like what? What else? Well. Whoa, that's one huge boulder. We can't keep going with that in the way. What now, Mr. Regal? In case something like this happens, a special item has been prepared in the mine. I'm sorry, but please go back to the previous tunnel. It should be somewhere around there. What do you mean, it? Come on, let's go. Hey, don't leave me behind. Is it just me, or has his personality changed since we got here? Why are the machines still running? This is an automated mine, so it runs by itself. Wow, I don't really understand, but it sounds convenient. Oh, I simply must disassemble and analyze this. So anyway, ignoring her for a minute, where's the inhibitor ore? The tunnel with the inhibitor ore is up ahead. If we get on that elevator platform, it should take us there. Move faster, please. Excruciatingly painful. Bonk. It sure is convenient that that worked.
Be careful, everyone! Fire seal! Honor us the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
Honestly, my biggest problem with Regal is that his normal combo only has 3 hits. This makes it somewhat difficult to get enough TP to do his normal, like his special combos as frequently as I would like. Like, I'm just trying to build up TP right now.
Sonic double demon bang!
Pow hammer! No way!
Ah.
Evil doesn't stand a chance.
It doesn't react at all. Unfortunate.
How many of you are there?
No way!
Demon plate spear! Spin kick!
That's more like it. Come on. There we go.
This takes concentration, you know.
I'm dizzy.
Ready for this?
I don't want to talk about it.
Garage seal!
I thought I was the one that got stunned, so I just mashed, hoping it would work.
Power seal!
Oh, Zelos is petrified. That's why he couldn't attack. We're just gonna correct that real quick.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me!
This takes concentration, you know.
Pow hammer! Sorry.
Ready for this? Healing wind!
Thank you. Remember, always thank your healers.
Ready for this? Healing wind!
And while it's not strictly necessary in this sense because we're playing a single-player game,
Don't come back.
always thank your healers.
Come back.
Memory gem was found, so when I find the save point this time around, I can finally actually activate it. In the meantime, we bear witness to excruciatingly painful, slow-moving machinery. Thank God. This is what we were looking for. The function of the Sorcerer's Ring change. What can it do this time? Let's try it out. Wait. The Sorcerer's Ring was used here to blast rock. Don't use it carelessly. Blast? How? When you use the Sorcerer's Ring, a condensed ball of mana appears. 3 seconds later, the ball of mana explodes. If we're caught next to it, we'll be caught in this explosion. Got it. Gotcha. Let's use it carefully and boldly. I like one of those words.
There's a lot of them. Serpent of light, honor us with the splendor of thy song. No way! Holy song!
Eagle dive!
Mirage, light, fire!
Also, for Regal's entire arsenal being kicks, I feel like they cover a lot more range than I expect them to, especially vertically.
Redemption still eludes me.
Those bombs are made out of pure mana. Yes, I don't understand the details, but apparently that's how it works. I wish I had a magic spell like that. Yeah, you can't break boulders with your fireballs, or push buttons either. But I could turn you into toast. Want me to give it a try? Whoa, hey, stop! We have now picked up the Saint Rapier. This should be a weapon for Lloyd, if I'm not mistaken. It's the same slash strength as Sheena, but it has better thrust, which is... I don't believe I ever explained this, but Lloyd has 2 different types of attack stat, being slash and thrust. Slash is just general, like, his wide-swinging attacks, kind of like Tiger Blade and, Tempest. Thrust is what dictates his specifically stab moves, like Sword Rain and, Sonic Thrust. It's still the same strength for, Slash, if I'm not mistaken, so we might as well put it on. I've been blind. There's something up here, if I'm not mistaken. Sand Saber. This is something for Zelos. Now he has a pretty powerful weapon, but the downside is it's Earth Elemental, which can be a great upside in certain circumstances and a terrible downside in others. In the meantime, we must now wait for the elevator to come back down, and then once more wait for it to put us back up. This is my main problem with this area. It just takes forever to get anything done when you're waiting on the machines. Come on.
Let's see if numbers will make up for their lack of strength.
Hammer!
Ready for this?
This takes concentration, you know.
Ready for this?
Eagle dive.
First aid.
Ready for this?
First aid.
Demon hurricane
Spin
thrust.
kick.
Oh! Both of them are petrified. Oh god, I didn't even notice that.
Do not overexert yourself.
Just correct that real quick.
Do not overexert yourself.
Demon hurricane thrust.
Crescent. Eagle dive. Crescent. Eagle dive. Spin.
Goodbye, worthless enemies.
Alright. Let's try out the bomb. Nifty. And now we have a path, way back here.
More battles?
Yes.
Demon light spear. Spin kick. Demon light spear. Crescent eagle spin kick.
Ray throw. Serpent fire seal.
Whoa. Crescent eagle spin kick.
Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, Zelos should be doing more damage, but these enemies are all resistant to Earth, so, he's doing roughly the same, despite his attack stat having been increased by like 200. I've made a mistake. I need to temporarily change the Sorcerer's ring back to a fireball so I can flip that lever. Then I need to get it back to the mines by jumping across. I have problems with this place. That's just... Oops. Now let's return to normal. Please, yes. Alright. We're just gonna come over here so we can catch this on the way back. Upon closer examination, perhaps I should have just taken this from here. Anyways, now we flip this so to go straight across. We come over here and go back down to pick up the bomb.
You guys stalking me?
Is it obvious that this place is very slow yet?
Ready for this? Healing wind. Eagle top spin kick.
Serpent fire seal. Sorry.
Not a chance. Try this.
I beg of you to reveal.
Alright, we have a new anti-air tech on Regal. Rising Dragon. This is basically just a straight up kick. No backflips unlike with Crescent Dive. What I could do actually is I'm gonna put Swallow Kick and Rising Dragon on the triggers. Probably not gonna use them until I've got 50 uses in Crescent Moon anyway.
Eagle spin kick. As expected.
Hell hammer.
I hate getting TP back on Regal. It's the one part of his playstyle that doesn't sit right. Anyways, we can pick up the bomb now. And we can wait for the elevator once more. Alright. Now we hop across. Wait for this platform to come back to us so that we can go to the right side. And then we'll finally be able to blow up that boulder that was in our way. It has taken some time, but we will get there eventually. Well, this will not end poorly.
Light sphere!
Rage rush! Serpent!
Eagle to spin! Ready for this? As expected. Healing wind! Let's go! Light sphere!
Power
Crescent moon! Don't run! Have a taste of this! Crescent eagle dive! Ready for this?
Satellite!
Not a first aid!
Serpent light fire seal! That's that.
Oh, right. Funny the things you forget. I may or may not have almost blown myself up. We're good, though. Battlesuit was found. I have no idea what that is. Okay, it's the same sort of armor that Lloyd and Zelos use. Checks out.
Let's go! No way! We'll serve an action.
Ready for this? Healing wind!
Splendor of thy song.
Ready? Eagle to spin kick!
Holy song!
Ready for this?
Well, time to once more try getting some TV back as Regal with my 2-hit combo.
First aid!
I love Regal. I love playing as Regal. With the exception of his 2-hit normal combo. Like,
That's that.
even by standards of, like, Lloyd, it's painful. Like, Lloyd has 3 hits, but you could technically squeeze out a 4th if you use his neutral attack after a side combo. Either way, it's just not fun. If there's anything this game could change in, like, a potential remake or remaster, I want TP gain to be faster. There are plenty of skills in later Tales games that make you regenerate your TP at a way faster rate. Please do that. What's this thing? Hey, you losers! Whoa, it talks! Of course I talk. You'd better watch your mouth. He's not very civilized. I'm on a journey to find and eat some potion. Eat? Are you sure you're talking about potion? It's something that's only for adults that makes them feel good. It seems he really does mean potion. In case it's not obvious yet, potion in this context is alcohol, and I specifically believe wine, because the Palma potion was from some place that appeared to be a winery. So, yeah. Do you losers have any? Does anyone have potion? I'm afraid not. If we'd known this was going to happen, we would have bought some Palma potion. Oddly enough, I believe I sold the bottle of Palma potion at one point. Flanoir has a famous drink called Flanoir potion. And don't forget Mizuho's famous Mizuho potion. I guess we don't have any choice. Let's go buy some. We're gonna deal with that some other time. But now we know, there is a gnomelet here who wants wine. Not potion, wine. We're gonna go ahead and unlock this memory seal. It has been a while since we've saved. Ah, there's a treasure chest in there. How did I not see it? Silk robe. This is the same sort of robe that, I believe Sheena and, Rain use. I'm going to give this to, Rain because, frankly, she doesn't use evasion that much, but Sheena, being a frontline fighter, will want to avoid some crits. So we're going to keep the Misty robe on her. Well, we've been Indiana Jones'd. Whoa, that was close! What was that? I'm sorry, I had forgotten. That's a trap to stop intruders. Pay attention to what you're doing. There's a switch on the wall ahead. If you press it, the boulders should stop coming out. Alright, but first, let's check this thing out. Whoa, what's that spinning thing? That's a Naplusa Bakura. You can't mean the great Professor Naplusa's... Yes, it's a device made of concentrated mana in physical form. Normal attacks cannot harm it. Then we can't get past. I'm sorry, but if we could strike it with a powerful impact... A powerful impact, huh? Gee, I wonder what they could be referring to. Ah! I tried to draw it out. I let it get too close. Alright, let's draw this thing out a bit. Alright. No. Stay here. Alright. Now's our chance. Trigger the boulder, and bonk. Now we can go ahead and stop that. I don't think we need any more boulders. Yet. So we're just gonna go ahead and, pick this up. X-Gem level 3. We will be applying that eventually.
Here comes more of them.
Yeah, really, once we're out of that first room, this place is fine. But before then, it is painful watching and waiting.
Ready for this?
First stage.
Ready for this?
Just gonna wait a bit.
Crescent moon. Spin kick. Ready for this? First stage.
I'm gonna... Actually, here's an opportunity.
Spin kick. Ready for this?
This takes concentration.
Sheena, please.
We made it.
She's at 95. Or was, at least. Now looks like as good a time as any to go ahead and cast, Nurse. Alright, we may all be out of TP, but we can keep going. This is the inhibitor ore mining area. So, which one is the inhibitor ore? Let's search this area. There may be some left over in the wooden boxes. Oh please, I'm not going to go through all those boxes. Let's just blow them all up. I agree. It sure is convenient. What we're looking for is sturdy enough to survive a concentrated mana explosion.
Alright, let's do this.
I will serve and ask for thy blessing. Honor us with the splendor of thy
Ready for this?
holy song!
Fire seal. Not a chance. Healing wind.
Great thrust!
Ow, I got whacked out of the sky.
Ready for this? First stage.
Great thrust!
Spin kick. Not a chance.
Great thrust!
And once more on Regal's bizarre adventure to get anything out of it, any TP out of his combos.
Ready for this? First stage.
And don't come back!
On the bright side, at least his normals do hit for a lot of damage. Sure is lucky that I was correct. This is inhibitor ore. We did it, Lloyd. Now we can save Presea. Yeah, all I need to do now is prepare this. How long will that take? To be honest, only a dwarf could do it right. But if I carve the charm directly into this, I think it'll serve in place of a key crest. If that's alright, I can make it right away. Wait just a little bit. I think this will do. Later, once Presea has returned to her normal self, let's have Dad or Altessa make a real one. I understand. Then let's return. It is unbearable to leave Presea in that house, steeped with the stench of death. Yeah. Alright, but before that, we've got some treasure to get. Truly the adventurer's method. Okay, there wasn't any there. I believe we've gotten everything from down here. But I saw some earlier, and I will not stop
This is
until I
gonna
can
be cake.
get it.
Ready for this? Crescent, first aid. Spin. Let's go.
Spirit seal!
Light
Power
spear.
seal!
Move.
Hell hammer! Lloyd!
Why do you say Lloyd? That's not Lloyd. You know full well.
This takes concentration, you know.
Rush!
Ready for this? Not a chance. First aid.
Sorry. Hell hamstring satellite! Rush seal!
Redemption still eludes me.
And I've missed the elevator once more. We're just gonna save real quick. Come on. You can move faster than that, elevator. Please. Please move down faster. We're all very, powerful
part of a
adventurers. We can survive
gang or
falling out of an
something?
elevator.
Sorry.
Sonic thrust.
Fire seal!
We've certainly survived worse, at least.
Hell hammer!
Ready for this?
Yeah, serpent
First
seal!
aid. Crescent. Eagle.
Sorry.
Well, I'm paralyzed now, so I'm just gonna take things a bit easy and wait for it to fade.
Sorry.
Mostly because if I try to attack right now, I just, can't.
Not a chance. Eagle dot. Spin. Crescent. Move.
Power seal! Hell ham item! I hope you learned your lesson.
They're dead. I don't think they learned anything, Colette. Thunder Cape was found. I've neglected to mention, but there are accessories like capes and boots that increase your stats in a more direct way. I'm just gonna go ahead and equip that on a Regal, because I don't think he has anything better right now.
There's a lot of them.
Not a chance. Ready for this? First aid.
Sorry. Yeah.
Crescent. Eagle. Spin.
Rush.
Sonic thrust.
Fire seal.
As expected.
Rush seal.
Demon. Light spear.
Bonk.
And don't come back.
It's in pieces now. Oh, my precious sample. Professor, what are you doing picking up the fragments? Shut up! Hmm? What is it, Professor? I wonder what this is. It looks like a chakra. Let's go ahead and take it. Evil Eye was found. A cursed weapon kills the weak with one glance. Fascinating. Super pellets was found. Frankly, to this day, I still haven't bothered using the pellets. I believe they're supposed to be made for... I believe they're used to make figurines at Harvey's house, which Harvey's the guy from, He was the guy who was trying to blow up the altar in Asgard.
So I may only be here for the last hour.
Indeed.
But
we have no choice.
At least you were here.
I'll use the same.
Honor us, the splendor of thy song. Holy song!
Hello? Hello?
Crescent, ready for this? Spin kick. First aid. Crescent, ready for this? First aid.
You there?
Redemption still
I need to
eludes
check
me.
something really quick. Jeff? I still... Ah, is your internet dying? Unfortunately, my co-host has what we in the business refer to as dead internet.
Don't worry. Leave it to me.
Sonic double demon bang!
It is indeed unfortunate. Let us hope his internet has a swift recovery.
Man, I rule! I'm so...
In here, Iron Greaves. I probably should have picked this up earlier, but Greaves are Regal's weapon types. Since he does a lot of kicking, we need to reinforce his shins. It does check out if you think about it. You know, funny the things you forget. Come on. It's no good. There are no X-Spheres around here either. Varley! Regal, so you're the one who destroyed the guard system outside. Who's that? That's Varley, the X-Sphere broker. What's he doing here? Why are you here? Why's the Pope let you stay free? That's not what I agreed to. Haha. Did you think the Pope would really keep a promise to a murderer? And you've forgotten your promise to bring us Colette. You joined with them instead. Silence! If the Pope will not fulfill his promise, then I will punish you myself. No way! I'm getting out of here. Regal, who is that man? He called you a murderer. I am a prisoner, serving time for the crime of murder. I won't blame you if you look down on me. What happened? Explaining would be an excuse. I committed a crime. That's all that needs to be said. My stupid actions have killed many people. I don't know what you did, and your crime won't go away. But when you're suffering, it's alright to at least say so. I don't know how to explain it very well, but I think we have the goddess inside all our hearts. So I think the goddess also bears the burden of your sins with you. That's all. Perhaps someday I will have the opportunity to tell the story. I apologize. Well, no time like the present. Let's go ahead and get back to Ozette. This is not the way I was going. Here. We board once more. That's a fascinating place to find a monument. All the way up there. You've killed a human being. That's correct. I apologize. I imagine it's not easy traveling with a criminal. I hope you could tolerate me for a short while, just long enough for us to save Presea from the curse of her X-Sphere. I'm a murderer too. What? I've hurt countless people in order to protect myself. I don't know what it was you did, but I won't tell you to leave just because you've killed people.
I'm not giving you a free drink.
Give it to me. Hey, sorry, my internet cut out when I tried to say this the first time. I'm sorry that I'm only here for the last hour of your stream, but I'm gonna take the same philosophy I do to my life to your stream. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
I like this plan. Unfortunately, we are about to not have a very good time.
You in Discord.
Hold on, is my...
Let's see, is this better?
Like, straight up, none of your voice is coming through Discord. I'm only
No?
hearing you through the stream.
Dang. That's odd. Did my audio device change? My audio
Go
device
through your
changed,
settings?
didn't it? Hold on. Alright.
There we go, I hear you now.
Okay, there's something strange about this. The capture card I use for my Switch, I forgot what this thing is called. I think it's the, like, Genki Shadowcast.
Oh, did it get put as your default device?
It gets put as my default device every time I plug it in, and I don't know how to change it, because it changes every time I plug it in. Anyways...
I mean, can't plug it in and try setting your default after that?
I probably could. That'd probably be a better idea, but you know what? We're on stream, so we deal with it later.
Yeah.
Anyways...
Yeah, so you probably said something the first time I came in, but yeah, I couldn't get your stream open to hear you at all, because my internet went out 2 times in the time it took for me to be here for 5 minutes.
You hate to see it. Anyways, what you've missed so far is, we've taken Presea home, and it turns out she is indeed not aware of what's going on around her, because in her home, there's literally a corpse in the bed, and she doesn't seem to notice.
Huh. Is that man's hands tied?
Yes, we have Regal. He is a prisoner who keeps his handcuffs on intentionally. And, he fights by kicking people.
Also, I'm realizing that, like, the only person from your main party that I actually know is Colette.
Yeah, understandable.
I guess Sheena.
Yeah, Colette and Sheena have been around for a while. Zelos joined in the last episode, I believe. And Regal joined in this episode.
Yeah, I don't think I was here for Zelos' joining.
Unfortunate, because damn, he must be a genius.
Oh, wait, no, if that's the character, yeah, I remember him being there. I remember you grinding him up to try to get his,
Damn, I must
get
be a
him to say the
genius,
line.
double demon fang. And then he didn't say it. He didn't say the funny line. I was so sad.
See, that's when you save scum and make him say it.
That would be pretty funny.
That's them, the wanted
Oh
criminals.
shit, the picture of Lloyd got more
High res.
good.
They turned up the graphics quality.
Oh, crap.
Their eyes are no
Papal
longer in
Knights again.
144p.
Why do they always show up where we're going?
Well, well, if it isn't Master Zelos, I trust you are well.
And we're surrounded. We're surrounded once more. This happens to us
Damn
a
it.
lot.
See, I was
Remember,
planning on
capture
streaming
Colette
tonight,
alive.
like to get more Hollow Knight done, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have to make sure my internet's actually working properly, considering it was just doing that shit and like 30 minutes of my normal stream time. I think I'm gonna hold off.
Oh, first time chat from viewer. Hello, Kata007.
Eagle dive, spin kick. Ready for this?
Healing wind.
Alright.
That's it.
Serpent seal! You gotta be kidding me!
Ready for this?
First aid.
How are you enjoying the stream experience so far?
This takes concentration, you know.
Ready for this? Nothing.
First aid.
As expected. That's it.
Sorry.
He tried spinning. That was a good trick.
No way!
Fantastic. Ready for this? First aid. Long live the bow.
Evil doesn't stand a chance.
We managed to win.
It's my fault again. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Don't be silly. They're after my life, too. The Professor and Genus are wanted because they're half-elves. Sheena is from Mizuho, now considered a village of traitors. And Regal is considered a traitor as well.
They're after all of us, equally.
Thanks.
Stop thinking everything's your fault.
I'm sorry, Lloyd.
You don't need to apologize for it.
Colette, I swear to fucking God, if you apologize one more time, I'm going to make you into an angel in the real way.
Oh, don't worry, she's well on her way.
She's running a fever. But what could be causing this much pain?
Move. Please leave this to me.
Hello again, Presea.
Presea? All right.
Wait, is Presea part of your team, or like?
She's a party member we've had. She's a lost child who is cursed by an X-Sphere, and is no longer capable of emotion.
Good work, Presea.
And she just took Colette's legs.
Indeed, Colette no longer has legs. Well, I wanted to give Presea the X-Sphere, but looks like things are... or the key crest, but looks like there's something more important first. Bonk!
I am Rodile, the most cunning of the Desian Grand Cardinals. I hope you don't mind me taking the chosen one.
Wow, thanks for telling us your identity and your grand plan. We can work with that.
Desian? Why are the Desians in Tetheala?
I mean, the grand plan just to take the chosen one?
Indeed.
Wait, does that mean that Presea is a bad guy?
A what?
A bad guy.
I thought you said bad boy for a second, and I'm like, that's a fascinating thing to call her.
No, guy.
Yeah.
Will you help Presea?
She won't be soon.
This party has a really bad track record.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Lloyd and Genus basically burned down their home village. Colette almost destroyed the entire world by trying to save it. Sheena tried to kill us.
Fuckface.
Yeah. Sheena tried to kill us. Regal tried to kill us at one point or another. Well, he didn't really try to kill us, though he did fight us on several occasions. Really, the people here who've done the least wrong would probably be Zelos and Rain. But that's a very low bar.
Literally, was with them for a good part of their journey, and then...
Wait, actually, no. Rain's done plenty wrong. She's blown up several bases. Rain is an active terrorist.
Why did the second you say she's blown up multiple... I expected the next word to be schools.
Not schools, but, she's blown up several, human ranches. So while it is technically a great act of setting people free from the tyranny of others, she has indeed committed terrorism.
Yeah, this party has a wonderful track record.
Indeed, we are the good guys. We blow up bases and burn down villages. That's us. Anyways, it is time to apply the key crest to Presea, hopefully saving her life and making her finally become conscious of her actions for the first time in who knows how long.
Huh? Presea, are you okay? What? What am I doing? Where's my daddy?
Well.
What have I been doing? Thank you for assisting me with my daddy's burial.
Have you calmed down a little?
I've been a great burden on you all.
You remember?
Yes, mostly. Why did you have an X-Sphere like that on you? I received it from a person named Varley.
I knew it. Varley.
I wanted to save my sick daddy. I wanted to learn how to wield an axe so that I could work in my daddy's place. So Varley introduced me to Rodile, and I was taken to the research academy in Cyback.
The internet seems to be stable right now.
The experiments on you were carried out by order
Worth
of
a
the
shot,
Pope,
I suppose.
right?
Which means that Desian is in league with the Pope.
Presea, do you have an older sister?
No.
Do you have any other family?
I have a younger sister. She left to go into service for a noble, and that was the last I saw of her. And my mommy died when I was a child.
When you were a child? You're still a child now.
Oh, yes, of course. That's right.
At any rate, we can't just leave you here in this village by yourself if you have no one to turn to.
Yes, the people of this village seem to avoid her.
I'd like to go with all of you if that would be all right.
Huh? Why?
It's my fault that Colette was taken away. So please, let me help in her rescue.
Please allow me to come along as well. It seems that my fate is linked to your enemy.
Yeah, we could always use some more party members.
Of course you're welcome to join us. Help us save Colette.
I will.
Thank you. I am in your debt. I shall not betray your trust.
Now let's hurry and find Colette.
All right. They headed east.
Just turn away. Be like,
So you've
nah,
lost
go
the
fuck
Chosen.
yourselves.
No, I could never do that. I love playing as Regal too much. Anyways, hello again, Kratos. Good to see you again. We did run into him in the Academy City once more, but he just kind of like told us to take Colette off the key crest. I was trying to phrase that like taking her off her medicine, but that didn't come out right. Anyways, yeah, he gave us medical advice and we refused to follow it because he betrayed us. Anyways, he's back again.
You again. What have you done with Colette?
Rodial is ignoring our orders and acting on his own. I know nothing of it.
Internal strife? How pathetic.
Say what you will. Either way, he will have no choice but to abandon the Chosen.
What do you mean?
The Chosen is useless as she is now. You can let her be.
You've got to be kidding me. We're going to rescue Colette no matter what, and if you get in our way...
Then, I suggest you seek the Riards and head for the eastern skies. I'm sure the people of Mizuho have located the Riards by now.
What's that guy trying to do?
He's working on it.
Ah, well, who cares? If he's useful, make use of him.
I agree with Zelos.
I agree. Anyway, let's head back to Mizuho for now.
Excuse me, did Kratos just fucking
Just to make it
quick
official,
save and
welcome
load
to the group, Presea.
just to kill Lloyd and then go back on it? Like any player of Skyrim?
No, I think what's supposed to have happened there is Lloyd struck him with a sword, but Kratos just like quick drew his sword and deflected the blow. I think that's what's supposed to have happened there. Because he has no intention of fighting us right now, at the very least. As is shown by the fact that he simply walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he just quick drew his sword to deflect Lloyd's attack. But, given this cutscene was first, like, animated in 2004 on the GameCube in-game, it would be tough to tell that just from the, thing. Just from the presentation alone.
Thank you.
My cute little Presea. I'll protect you, okay?
Thank you, Zelos.
Ow! Come on, let's go.
Dang.
I'll protect you too.
Genus tried. That's all we can that's all we can ask of him.
Oh, stupid Lloyd!
Yeah, we can go ahead and quick jump. I have no things left to do here. And now we've made it back to Mizuho, which is Sheena's home. I'm just gonna speak with their leader real quick. Oh, Lloyd, good timing. What is it? We've located the Riards. It's just like Kratos said. Why does he do things like that to help us if he's our enemy? But now we can save Colette. Sheena, before you recover the Riards, I must give you a test. A test, Vice Chief? Yes. Even if we recover the Riards, if Volt's mana runs out, they will crash again. Thus, before recovering the Riards, you are going to form a pact with Volt. I know it's hard, but it is a test you must overcome. I can't. Sheena failed to form a pact with Volt once before. That is the reason why the chief is in a coma. He has nothing more to say to us. Checks out. Well, let's go speak with our party to see what they think about all this. Sheena looked like she was about to cry, but I believe the deeper the wound, the more important it is to overcome it. Sheena is still too young, too frail to accept the cruel fate forced upon her. Wait, what?
I said I'll just stream on Wednesday.
Understandable.
This is the next day I have off.
Legendary of strength. So that's why Sheena didn't want to form the pacts. Lloyd, let's cheer her up somehow. It's a pretty famous incident. A quarter of Mizuho's population died. She puts on a strong face, but she's really alone in this village. Go cheer her up, man. She seems to have a thing for you. You understand the pain of involving others in an incident you caused. Go to her. Don't worry. If it comes down to it, I'll save you. Just like you saved me a long time ago. I can't. I can't do it. You heard, didn't you? So many people died because I failed to make a pact with Wolt. We heard. What about it? So I may wind up killing you, too. We won't die. Why? Because you're going to succeed. How do you know that? I already failed once. You'll succeed. We've been helped by your summoned spirits countless times. You're not the old Sheena. You've already made pacts with other summoned spirits. It'll be fine. You'll do great. I guarantee it. Yeah, Sheena, I'll help too. And if Volt goes berserk again, I'll cut him down myself, and that will be the end of that. Okay? Alright. I'll try it. As for the whereabouts of the Riards, I'll send Orochi to the temple later. Ask him about them. The Temple of Lightning is north of here. Take care. Orochi and Kuchinawa are brothers, right? Those are some interesting names. They're both old Mizuho words for snake, but those aren't their real names. Are they aliases? Not exactly. In Mizuho, we have a tradition of giving people an additional name while hiding our real names. Really? What are their real names? Beats me. Only they, their parents, and the chief know. And whomever they marry. Is your name a second name as well? Yeah, that's right. Presea. I know Sheena's real name. What? How could you know? Sheena's real name is Violent Demonic Banshee. Zelos! See? See, I told you she's a violent banshee. And once more, Zelos is slapped in the greatest use of literal slapstick comedy. I just can't stop wondering what that means. What means? Have you figured out something about Crucius' schemes? Just recently, they've been saying that the Chosen is useless. They kept saying that. Yet Colette is supposed to possess the necessary properties to become Martel's vessel. So what are they talking about? Now that you mention it, you're right. I mean, I'd understand it if they said Zelos was useless. Yeah, you're right. Wait, hey, what's that second comment supposed to mean? Stop joking around, you two. This may mean that Colette is still hiding something. Yeah. Now, before we tackle any of that, I could swear there was a Wonder Chef somewhere here, but I would not know for sure. Let's see if I can customize anything.
Obviously, the Wonder Chef is that butter churner in the river.
Ah, yes.
See, at this point, I'm like a minute and a half behind on stream delay anyway, so I can't get
unfortunate.
actual commentary. Because whenever I get caught up with the stream, like it'll start buffering until I'm further back.
That is unfortunate. I might be wrong about the Wonder Chef's location. I don't know. I'll figure those out later. Some other time. For now, we've got 15 minutes left. Not a great amount of time. I think we can make something work, though.
Get ready.
We're just gonna go ahead and head to Volt's temple.
Eagle Dot, spin kick.
Demon Sonic Crush. Try this. Silver Seal.
That was pathetic.
Wait a minute. I never bought that right. Funny the things you forget. I was able to purchase another card for Sheena earlier, but I didn't have enough money at the time, and then immediately forgot about it. Anyways, instead of worrying about equipment, we're just gonna go straight into the next dungeon. This will not end poorly. Temple of Lightning. We got in really easy. I don't see an Oracle Stone anywhere. This is the Flourishing World. It probably isn't functioning as a seal right now. What's wrong, Sheena? You're nervous, aren't you? Well, yeah, of course. Don't worry. If anything goes wrong, I'll protect you, okay? I appreciate that. But I don't think you have that kind of power. Or me either, of course. You mustn't talk like that. I'm going to do my best, so you should too, okay? Yeah. As you can imagine, the Temple of Lightning has a lot of lightning-related gimmicks. We're just gonna figure some things out real quick. Beautiful mutual trust. I wonder if Sheena's okay. We have to believe in her. If we don't, who will? Ah, what beautiful mutual trust. Stop making a joke out of it. I'm not, just think for a moment. If I were the one that was about to make that pact now, even Lloyd wouldn't be able to freely put all his trust in me, right? No kidding. The brat could shut up, thank you. So anyway, I was just thinking how you have a beautiful mutual trust, bored of the time you've spent together. Sheena's our partner. Of course we trust her. And so are you, after all. I trust you too.
This is gonna be a piece of cake.
We love having talk about trust and friendship in RPGs.
Eagle Dot, spin, crescent move, Sonic Light Spear, Demon Supersonic Eagle Dot, spin kick.
It's interesting being a commentator in a story-heavy game, because what the fuck can I say when you're sitting there reading off walls of text?
I don't know. That's the fun part. What are you talking about?
Understandable.
I'm not going to lie, frankly, I don't remember this place very well. Genus, your shirt is hanging out. Where? I'll fix it. Thanks. You're still a child, it seems. What? I'm not a child. I'm grown up too. Ah, alright. You're an adult. Okay, Genus. We can call you that. Hey, you're treating me like a kid again. It's not like you're any older than I am. Ah. Right. Now, if I'm not mistaken... Ow! What was that? It looks like an electric shock. It appears when you step on the switch. Lightning strikes the rod. Hey, Sheena, you've been here before, right? What did you do that time? I don't really know anything about the traps in the temple. The others from Mizuho cleared them for me. And I guess we'll have to figure it out ourselves. Lloyd, lightning strikes higher ground. Higher ground? Well, you know what that means. Puzzle time. We activate that lightning rod. We can step over this just fine. We deactivate that one. And now the one on the bottom is all that's left for lightning to strike. Bonk. The function of the Sorcerer's Ring changed. Whoa! It looks like it's shooting out electricity. This electricity is blue. Wonder if it's useful. Perhaps there is something that can only be destroyed with this electricity. Well, you know what they say about electricity. I missed. There we go. Unlimited power. I was 100% confident I could make that fast enough. I was wrong. Anyway, we got a new guard, which I believe goes on Presea and Colette. Indeed. Well. It is right about 5, so I think now is as good a time as any to go ahead and call it quits. On the next episode, we're going to help Sheena overcome her past and properly form the pact with Volt. And there's some other stuff we should probably get done too, like, I don't know, getting Colette back from Rhode Isle. Surely she can wait a week, right? Yeah, she'll be fine. Anyways, I believe that is all for this time. Tune in next week to see what happens with Sheena and Colette. And
hopefully they don't die.
Hopefully indeed. I mean, last time Sheena was in the place we're currently at, a quarter of her entire village died.
Sounds about right.
Not to mention the chief got put in a coma. So, let's try and prevent that this time, I'd say.
Maybe.
Anyways, remember on Wednesday will be the beginning of my brand new platformer playthrough for The Messenger. It's gonna be great. And Friday, we have the continuation of the Fire Emblem 1 Iron Man run. Let's hope not as many people die during that session as died during the last one. And most of all, I don't know, there's not really a most of all Saturday, I just kind of do stuff with friends, hopefully. And most of all, I don't know, I'll see you some other time, I guess. See ya.
Bye.